Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. If you ask Chris Eubank Jr., how's he feel about old Conor Ben, he's going to let you know.
I have the duty to my father, and I have a duty to myself to go out there and destroy this kid.
Uh-oh. Did you hear what he said? He got a duty to himself, but he mentioned who? His father. Ooh-wee. Hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Chris Eubank Jr. is fully dialed in on Conor Ben. Now, listen, because I'm reading the comments, I am very surprised that many people feel that Conor Ben is going to be too much for Chris Eubank Jr. To that I say, in the most respectful way, to hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Hold on. What is it that you've seen with Conor Ben since he returned to the boxing ring? Fighting Dobson and fighting the Hispanic fighter. And what is it that he did in those fights that would convince you that he's got the goods to get in there and clip Eubank Jr.? Because you guys aren't saying that Conor Ben's going to get in there, he's going to outbox him over 12. No. You guys are emphatically stating Conor Ben is going to tranquilize Chris Eubank Jr. I think his middle name is Livingston or some shit. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this video. What are you seeing? Okay, I got to give Conor Ben credit. He can box. He's athletic. He throws hard shots. But let me tell you something. Don't forget he is a 147-pounder. He's bubbling up to 160, right? He's been fighting some guys who, bigger than 147 in his last couple of fights. But the bottom line is he hasn't been able to do the business. Okay. Outbox him, out stamina, out condition, throws more punches. But he hasn't been able to do the business. And I don't see how you guys have convinced yourself that Conor Ben is going to bubble up to 160, although you got to be real, Chris Eubank Jr. is melting down to 160 with a rehydration clause, so that depends on how you want to look at it. Could be still an advantage for Chris Eubank Jr. because Conor Ben is coming up 2 divisions, but it could be a disadvantage because Chris Eubank Jr. is melting down to a weight he really shouldn't be at and can only rehydrate about 10 pounds. But my thing is, how is Conor Ben going to get in there and put the bing-bings on Chris Eubank Jr.? Throwing combinations, outboxing him. Does he have more reach than him? Is it power? Is he faster than him? You guys are acting like Chris Eubank Jr. is just a pushover. I understand what happened with Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith. I get it. Chris Eubank Jr. came in there. He was trying to fight like a Roy Jones rooster. Just doing stupid shit. He was standing in front of him with his hands down. What do you think's going to happen? He was trying to fight like Roy Jones Jr. Let me tell you something. There's only one Roy Jones. It doesn't matter who Roy Jones trains, what he shows them. They will never be able to emulate Roy Jones 100%. They may come with the 20% solution. Hands out, jump with the hook, fighting cock bullshit. But nobody out here can recreate the magic that Roy Jones brought to the ring. And he learned a lesson. Then you have the rematch. He damn near killed Liam Smith, but we know Liam Smith celebrating his big win, kind of like Roberto Duran when he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, put on some weight, eating that chuleta and habichuela con arroz and shit. Liam Smith was out there, I don't know what they eating in the UK, vegetable medley, steamship round, probably putting back a pint at the local pub. Got the call for the rematch, had to melt that grease off of his ass. Got in the ring, couldn't pull the trigger. And Eubank Jr. put the bing-bings on him. So let's be real about this. Again, what are Conor Ben's chances? You look at the reach, disadvantage. Height, disadvantage. Experience, disadvantage. Punching power, disadvantage. Chin, I don't know. Okay? I really don't know. But I'm just not seeing how Conor Ben is going to come out here and capture some of that magic that he had when he fought Granados, when he fought Vargas, when he fought Algieri. Because what we do, I want to say no, what we suspect, because if you listen to Conor Ben, he's going to tell you, I don't want to admit or recognize that I had something in my system. Because I didn't intentionally take any peds because I don't need it, because I'm a badass. I'm Nigel Ben's son, the Dark Destroyer's son. I came from his nutsack. Okay, but how about this? Maybe that power that you showed with Vargas, Granados, with Algieri, maybe that came from the Usman Sajjad nutsack. And you unknowingly were taking that. According to you. And that's why you became this vicious one-punch knockout artist. Conor Ben wasn't that. His whole career, he wasn't known for being a vicious knockout artist. He was known for being aggressive and vicious, but he wasn't a vicious one-punch knockout artist. That shit just surfaced out of nowhere. And then remember, he was calling everybody out. He wanted the smoke. So I just don't see how a guy like that is going to get a guy like Eubank Jr. to back up or to respect his punching power if he can't hurt him. And Conor Ben has shown that he can sting you, he can get your attention, but he can't necessarily make you respect his punching power because the glory is gone. Now Eubank Jr., we know he can knock you out. Y'all keep acting like Eubank Jr. is washed up. That's Chris Eubank's son. Y'all don't remember Chris Eubank Jr. hitting them pads and shit? That's how I learned of him. I was overseas. And I was stationed, I don't know if I was in Korea or Japan at the time. But I know I just kept seeing these highlight videos. I'm like, yo, what is this animal hitting this damn machine? With all the pads. Pop, 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 pop. I was like, what the hell? That's not normal. It was Chris Eubank Jr. His dad had created almost the perfect pressure fighter. But he wanted to be his own man, stand on his own 2 feet, and, he made his choices. And he is where he is in his career. But Chris Eubank Jr. said, man, I want this fight. I wanted this fight. It's a legacy fight. It's huge money. It's something that no one else is going to be able to say they were able to do. 20, 30 years down the road, I'll be one of the few who'll be able to sit back and talk about a legacy fight that I had. And he started talking about the history between his father, Nigel Ben, and to hear him talk about that and to come out and say what he said, I got to go destroy this kid for my dad. And it just tells me that for anyone out here who's doubting Chris Eubank Jr. because his dad's not around and thinking that he's not fully dialed in and he's not really worried about carrying forward the Eubank legacy, because his dad put the bing bings on Nigel Ben twice. Weren't in competitive fights yet, but he beat him twice. So Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't want to come now after peeling the scab back off of all that chaos that surrounded Nigel Ben and Chris Eubank Sr., with Chris Eubank Sr. won twice, to come now and lose. So then the Eubanks will be 2-1. And Conor Ben will have one. Conor Ben's dad made him go buy that man a Ferrari and shit. You did it, son. He got like peanut butter in his mouth. He's gonna come out. He ain't gonna know what to do with Conor Ben, because they finally got a win over the Eubanks. But I just don't think Eubank can allow that. I think it's gonna end up 3-0. Simple. But again, combination punching. Chris Eubank Jr. can do that. IQ. Chris Eubank Jr.'s got more IQ. Footwork, timing, speed. You got to give it all to Chris Eubank Jr. The jab, Chris Eubank Jr. Defense, I don't know. I think the verdict's kind of out on that. But again, even if Conor Ben gets through the aperture and lands shots, I just don't know if he makes his way through the cracks, if he's going to be able to land something that's going to make Chris Eubank Jr. say, feet don't fail me now, and start hauling ass around the ring and turn into a boxer runner. No, I think he made a little bit of lateral movement, set his feet again, and come forward and try to just blast Conor Benn up out the ring. But anyway, he wants all the smoke. I just think Conor Benn's bitten off more than he can chew. That's just my opinion, man. I know some people, again, they're looking at Conor Benn and looking at his punch output and they're saying, you know what, Conor Benn, I'm doing something, so don't worry about it. Conor Benn is going to be able to put on a dazzling display of talent. You look at Ben when he fought the guy Dobson. Ben was able to throw a lot of shots. First round, 47. Second round, 58. And 49, 40, 48, 54, 48, 49, 33, 32, 45, 49. Let me tell you something. It's a lot of punches. And you look at Dobson, 20, 35, 35, 49, 59, 40, 24, 40, 30, 57. But look at where Dobson throws a high volume of punches. Ben's punch output is reduced. So there's a direct correlation when it comes to Conor Benn's his fights, where if someone is able to throw more punches than him, he will reduce his punch output. Nothing wrong with that. But that being said, when I look at this, I don't think Ben is going to have the success that he's going to want. I don't think Ben is going to be out here landing 40, 50% of his shots. Not against Eubank Jr. I think Ben fans are going to be very surprised that at the diminished punch output from Conor Benn when he faces Eubank Jr. Because he knows he's in there with a guy who's bigger, a guy who's probably stronger. He knows that he has a disadvantage, but he's going to be fighting off nothing but heart and the bend balls. And that's it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think the heart, bend balls, and the grit and determination is going to be enough for him to get in there, man, and rob the Eubank. I don't think you're going to be able to do that. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I think the first 4 rounds are going to give the impression that Conor Benn came to win and that it's going to be a long night for Chris Eubank Jr. because Conor Benn's going to come out. I think he's going to be a front runner. I think he's going to come into like the Tasmanian Devil and just go buck wild. Just swinging for the fences. And I think if Chris Eubank Jr. plays it cool, and like, okay, I'm going to let him, the kid is what he calls him, throw his load. And now I'm going to come here and start to dissect him, embarrass him, beat him down, punish him, and knock him out. That's what I see happening. If not, Chris Eubank Jr. may just sit back and time him coming in with all them wild shots and put the bing bings on him. Because Conor Benn will get a little bit overzealous and force some of his shots and some of his combinations. And as a result, Chris Eubank Jr., I think he's going to put the bing bings on him. Bottom line, I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be in any danger of losing the fight. No matter how much Conor Benn wants to engage, I just think when Chris Eubank Jr. engages, I think you're just going to see there's going to be some separation between the two, man. And the separation is just going to show that Chris Eubank Jr. is a few notches above Conor Benn. Anyway, keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, 7 continents. Look, I'm going to tell you what. I don't like the fight at all. Yeah, it's going to be entertaining, but I don't like it. I've said it before in videos. I just think you got 2 guys. When it comes to the mental health, neither one's 100%, and they're about to get in the ring and get themselves into some shit that no one's ever going to forget about. Nobody really talks about Mayweather and Castillo. Every now and then somebody, real briefly and it's over. In America, nobody cares about that shit. Nobody talking about Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear off anymore. Nobody cares about that. You know, Zab Judah and Mayweather, the brawl. Roberto Duran spitting on Sugar Ray Leonard's wife and shit. Nobody talk about that no more. Nobody cares. But out there in the UK, they really care about their boxing. Same way how they've never stopped talking about Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. This shit with Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, I just think it's going to continue to be talked about forever. And it's just going to be one of those shadows that the Benns are never going to be able to come from underneath because it's always going to be like the Eubanks are better than you. And I don't like that for either one. Even if Conor Benn beats Eubank Jr., it's not good for either one except for the money they're going to make. 20, 30 years down the road, where are these guys going to be mentally, man? Anyway, if y'all go into the fight, be careful. I'm understanding out there in Tottenham, London, out there in England. I mean, that area is a horrible area to have any kind of fight with these two. They say the people out there wild. Somebody may run up on you and poke you and shit. So, just anyone going out to that fight, just y'all know better than me. I ain't from out there. I passed through there, man. On a temporary duty when I was in the military, man, at Lakenheath Air Force Base. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna do about 1,000 videos on these two because I think this is an interesting fight. But I got Eubank Jr., man, putting the bing bings on Conor Benn. I like Conor Benn, man. I don't like the whole egg thing. I think he did. I think he knowingly took the shit. But, my opinion doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, keep cool. Respect to these two combatants. I just think Eubank Jr. going to get him in the breeze.